Animals like plants also produce their own kind called as offsprings. They include both asexual and sexual reproductions. We will learn first about asexual reproduction in animals. The asexual reproduction in animals includes simple mechanisms involving one individual or one parent only. It includes methods like binary fission, in which one cell divides into two daughter cells as seen in amoeba and most of the protozoans. Then there is multiple fission, which happens in amoeba and other protozoans during unfavorable conditions. The parent cell turns into a hard-walled structure called cyst, in which nucleus divides into many tiny nuclei or daughter nuclei with cytoplasm around them, turning into tiny daughter amoebae. And when better conditions prevail, the cyst ruptures, releasing daughter amoebae into the environment. So this way, multiple fission and binary fission is a very common mode of reproduction in unicellular animals like protozoans. Budding is another way of asexual reproduction. Here, simple coelentrates like hydra reproduce by budding. A small bud develops on the parent body, and this bud gradually grows into a tiny adult, and finally it breaks off from the parent plant and grows as a separate individual. Then we have fragmentation, which is seen in most of the platyhelminths and nemathelminths, echinoderms. Like in planaria, a flatworm, if it is divided into two or more pieces, each piece turns into a new individual organism. Even corals, sponges, echinoderms like starfish can reproduce new organisms by fragmentation. We have also seen regeneration in many of the vertebrates like lizards, which grow their lost tail, and even cockroaches have seen to regenerate many of their lost legs. Let's study about sexual reproduction, which is more prevalent in highly developed animals. Most of the invertebrates and vertebrates are capable of sexual reproduction. Here, two parents or two individuals, one male parent and another female parent, are required to produce a new individual. Each of the parents, male and female, produces gametes. Male parent produces sperms as gametes, and female parent produces eggs or ovum as gametes. There are various steps involved in sexual reproduction. The first step is gametogenesis. Second is fertilization. Third is embryogenesis. And fourth and final is development. We will study all these steps in detail now. Gametogenesis, as the name says, is formation of gametes. This takes place in parent's body, and through it gametes are formed by cell division. so that the gametes have half the number of chromosomes found in the parents. This is done so that after the gametes unite with each other, the half gametes in each of them becomes full in the new daughter individual. Now in this case there will be two kinds of organisms, one having both male and female together in one individual. Gametes are produced in animals which may be unisexual or bisexual. Unisexual animals are those which will have male and female reproductive organs in separate individuals, like it is seen in roundworms which have separate male worm and a female worm. Animals are bisexual, having both male and female reproductive organs in a single individual, like earthworms, leech. Fertilization is the fusion of a sperm with the ovum. The nuclei of these gametes fuse to form a zygote, that is the first cell of a new individual. Now this fertilization can be in two manners. Okay children? In the first case, which is seen in lower organisms, it is external. The female and male come together and the female releases ova, and then the male releases sperms in the outside the female's body, and the fertilization takes place outside the female's body. This happens in animals who lay their eggs in water, like frog, fishes. They have external fertilization. Internal fertilization is seen in higher animals. Here, the sperms are introduced inside the female's body and they swim and fuse with the egg inside the body of female. This is seen in reptiles, insects, birds and mammals, especially man. Now, due to fertilization, the zygote which develops has slight variation from the original parent. It may look like them, but there are certain variations because the zygote has been formed by fusion of both sperm and ova, produced from two different parents, one male and the other female. So children of some parents look alike their parents, but also look alike with each other with slightly different characters as well. So fertilization brings about continuity of heredity from parents to children, as well as it allows scope for variation also. Third step is development of embryo or embryogenesis. So the zygote which forms now starts undergoing cell division and rapidly turns into from single cell stage to double, then 8 cell stage, then 16, 32 cell stage and so on. So this development of zygote is now turned into an embryo, and slowly cells now start showing differentiation into tissues and organs. Huh? So this embryogenesis may occur inside the body of female or outside the body of female, forming two groups of animals, viviparous and oviparous. In viviparous animals, the embryogenesis takes place inside the female's body. So these animals produce young ones or babies like mammals, and as well as they care for their babies by producing milk. The second category of animals, oviparous, are those animals which produce eggs. So here the embryogenesis takes place in the eggs which are hatched by the females. Examples are insects, fishes, frogs, birds, reptiles. Fourth step, embryonic development or further development of embryo into fetus is seen in higher animals like mammals, where the baby starts taking the shape of the adult and looks an miniature or tiny copy of the adult. So this is growth of embryo, also called as gestation period, after which the females give birth to live babies through a process called parturition. So this way young ones are produced from the parent's body. Let's study about human reproductive system in detail now. The male reproductive system is found in a male human, and it consists of some various reproductive organs. The main being testes, the male reproductive organ. They are a pair, oval in shape, but they lie outside the main body, that is abdomen. They lie in bag-like structures called scrotal bags or scrotum, which hang outside the abdomen, and each has a testis inside, consisting of coiled tubes called seminiferous tubules, and inside these tubules sperms are formed, the male gametes. From the testis arise two highly convoluted or highly zigzag structures called epididymis. Again a pair. They are attached closely to testis, and after the sperms are formed, they are sent into the epididymis to mature and for temporary storage. After the sperms mature, and if the sperms are to be removed from the male body, they are carried by sperm ducts or vasa differentia, appear again inside the abdomen into the urethra, the common opening of sperms and urine. Urethra is a median tube-like structure lying inside the penis and opening at its tip. It only serves as a passage for urine as well as sperm discharge. The structure enclosing the urethra is called as penis. It's a highly muscular, erectile structure in males. It's a structure to release sperms into the female vagina for fertilization to take place. The sperm are not released into the female vagina as such. They have a tail-like structure with a head and some reserve food matter which provides them energy to swim towards the egg. So for swimming they need some fluid, and this fluid is discharged by some accessory glands associated with male reproductive structure. These are the seminal vesicles, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Each of them produces some milky secretion into which sperms are released, called as semen. Now the testis lies in a scrotum out of the abdomen for a reason, because sperms need temperatures less than our normal body temperature, less than 37 degrees Celsius, for their development, and so they are put in a scrotal sac outside the abdomen where the temperature is lower than the main body temperature. Testis also produces a male sex hormone called testosterone, which causes many puberty changes in males, like rise of mustache, beard, hair on chest, change in voice, and so on. The female reproductive system consists of ovaries, oviducts, uterus and vagina. Ovaries are the main reproductive organs found in the abdomen, and each ovary produces one egg, but they are produced on alternate basis. If right ovary produces egg 1 month, then it is the left ovary which releases egg in the second month. The eggs mature inside the ovary, which also produces certain female hormones called estrogen and progesterone, which are responsible for puberty changes in females, like growth of breasts, high-pitched voice, hair on pubic area and underarm area, and a menstrual cycle starts in females every month. The eggs produced are received by the oviducts or fallopian tubes, which are funnel shaped, called muscular tubes, which further join to the uterus. It's inside the oviducts that the sperms meet the ovum or egg, and fertilization is carried out, especially in humans. Attached to the other end of the oviduct is the uterus. It's a single structure, a broad, muscular, pear-shaped, bag-like structure. It's very elastic and highly muscular, as well as vascular with lots of blood vessels. The fertilized ovum implants in here and develops into a baby. So all the embryonic development occurs inside the uterus. The last part of the female reproductive system is a V-shaped wide muscular tube called vagina, which opens outside from the uterus. There is a narrow opening between vagina and uterus called as cervix. The vagina receives the penis, and here only the discharge of semen containing sperms occurs. The process of release of ovum from ovary is called as ovulation. As I told you, fertilization in human beings is internal and it occurs in the first part of the oviduct. Zygote is formed, and this zygote undergoes cell division as an embryo. This embryo then reaches the uterus and fixes or attaches itself to the wall of uterus through a cord-like structure called placenta. The placenta is sent by the uterine wall to attach the developing embryo. The embryo develops and through placenta exchange of materials occurs. It gets oxygen food from mother's blood and it sends back carbon dioxide and waste matter into the mother's blood. After 2 months of development, the embryo starts looking like a tiny human form and is called as fetus. A female in which implantation has occurred is said to be pregnant, and the condition is called as pregnancy. Embryonic development takes about 280 days or about 9 months, called as the gestation period, during which the embryo changes into a fully grown baby, after which the female gives birth to the baby in a process called parturition. This brings us to the end of the chapter. Hope you enjoyed the video. Study in detail and about the human male and female structures and do the exercises in your notebook.